Meeting about a little bit more, so that's super exciting. I think that answers all of it. Oh, I'm sorry, specific things. This campaign is how we're going to get designated. There's a couple things that we have to do. There's a couple steps. And if you'd be more interested, if anybody would be more interested, please ask for my contact info or stop me or.
Can we share this presentation?
Absolutely, please do. And two, if anybody was looking to contact me, my email is under the purple QR code. It's all the way at the bottom after like a little synopsis about fair trade and why it's important.
Any other questions? If not, thank you so much for coming to see us today. Thank you for your time. Stay for the rest of our meeting if you would like, but also feel free to head out. Now we move on to the next order of business, which is old business. First, we have resolution 2023 S7 1010. Representative Ali, would you like to present this? Could someone pass me the mic, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this is resolution 2023 S7 regarding the interface of DAR. Do I have to read it again? Okay. Whereas Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar and is expected to commence on March 23rd and end on April 21st. And whereas Ramadan encompasses a month of spiritual reflection, charity, community, and most importantly, fasting. Muslims fast from dawn until sunset by abstaining from both food and water, and iftar is a meal at sunset in which Muslims break their fast. Thus, Ramadan sunset occurs approximately between 7 and 10:40. This is when many Muslim students are still on campus due to classes, exams, and other school-related activities. And whereas USG is committed to promoting positive multicultural and social growth while consolidating relationships with all orgs on campus, USG seeks to hold community events to engage with and benefit the diverse groups within the student body. And whereas USG intends to host up to 300 attendees for a community event to honor Ramadan and celebrate diversity while promoting the religious communities on campus. This event will also serve as a bridge between different religious groups at UIC. And let it be resolved, the undergraduate student government will partner with the Muslim chaplaincy at UIC to host a community iftar and invite different interfaith and student organizations. And let it be further resolved, this event will take place on Tuesday, April 5th, from 6 to 9 in the preliminary room. And let it be further resolved, the undergraduate student government will allocate a maximum of $5,500 to cover the cost of the room reservation, catering, and related fees, and any unspent funds shall be returned to the USG budget.
Thank you. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns regarding this resolution, or would anyone like to raise any amendments? Yes, Representative Ali.
I motion to amend the resolution.
There's been a motion to amend the resolution.
To change the budget from 5,500 to 6,000. Also, can I also amend it to change the day from Tuesday to Wednesday?
There's been a motion to amend resolution 2023 S7 1010 for the budget to be raised to 5,500 and for the date to be changed to 5,500 to 5,600 and for the date to be changed 6,000. 6,000?
Yeah, right, 6,000.
And the date to be changed to Wednesday. Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor, please say aye. All that opposed, please say nay. Is anyone saying?
I don't know.
And this motion has been passed. Are there any other questions or comments regarding this agenda? This resolution. Yes, Secretary Daniel?
Okay, Mahanur has something to say.
All right, Mahanur, we can hear you.
All right, can you guys hear me? Sorry, my internet's cutting out.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I motion to add Director of Student Success Mahanur Murtaza as co-sponsor to the resolution.
There's been a motion to add Representative Murtaza as a co-sponsor of this resolution. Is there? Is anyone opposed? All those in favor say aye. Is anyone opposed? Is anyone abstaining? The ayes have it, this motion has been passed. Any other questions or comments regarding this agenda? We'll be voting on it tonight. Okay. All in favor of adopting resolution 2023-7, 1010, please say aye. All that opposed, please say nay. Does anyone say?
Can you please, specific about how to use $6,000? Like, you have to do it right now, so like.
Okay, so I'll start off. Oh, sorry. Basically, we're going to be catering food from a restaurant that's on Devon Avenue. Or another one we're considering the options because we want to support a local cultural business and that food is offered by USG Catering. And the other cost that we're having besides the reservation fee is the coffee. I don't know if 2 to 3. So we consider the local coffee cart. The coffee is the cultural aspect of the month. We have to fast, during coffee, worship. So we wanted to provide that as well in order to increase social engagement and more of a cultural aspect as well. So that's pretty much where our budget breakdown is going to. We'll probably, if you want, we can do like the exact cost breakdown, but we're still trying to negotiate. We could probably get like a bigger discount. We're not hoping to use the entire 6,000. So we're trying.
Any other questions? If not, we will move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2023-7, 1010, please say aye. Say aye.
Aye.
All that opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? The ayes have it, this resolution has been passed. The next order of business is resolution 2023-7, 1011, and I will be reading this. So whereas the undergraduate student government traditionally holds socials throughout the academic year in order to recognize the significant work done by the body and allow USG members to get to know each other better, and whereas the food shall be provided for the attendees to enjoy while stimulating and participating in the planned activities, and whereas for the spring 2023 semester, the USG social shall be held in East Paris on Friday, March 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. Then let it be resolved that the undergraduate student government shall allocate $250 for the purchase of catering for the spring social from geographic 27. Let it be further resolved that any unspent funds shall be reallocated into the USG budget. Are there any questions or concerns regarding this resolution? If not, we'll move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2023-7, 1011, please say aye.
Aye.
All that opposed, please say nay. Is anyone abstaining? If not, the ayes have it, and this resolution has been passed. The next order of business is resolution 2023-7, 1012. That's all. Would someone like to present this?
Okay.
Resolution 2023-7-12. Whereas the posting of the undergraduate student served as the substitute of undergraduate student body, whereas the total support of the cost is completed on a daily basis, and whereas the undergraduate student government engaged with and benefit the student of undergraduate student, then let it be resolved that at every undergraduate student government will table student center needs building should be dental floss, toothbrushes, toothpaste, or mouthwash. Let it be further resolved that USG shall allocate up to 1,500 for purchase of the acquisition of the. Let it be further resolved that the allocated funds shall be returned to the university.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any questions, comments, or amendments regarding this resolution? If not, we'll move on to voting. All in favor of adopting resolution 2023-7 without health, please say aye.
Aye.
All that opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, this resolution has been passed. Next order of business is resolution 2023-7-2014. Would anyone like to present this?
Whereas the undergraduate student government seeks to promote mental health resources and encourage transparency between administration and the undergraduate student body. And whereas there is a lack of transparency in mental health resources and budget allocation for student wellness and mental health. And whereas the town hall allows student administrators transparently and allows students to ask their questions face to face. And let it be resolved that the undergraduate student government will host a mental health town hall on April 17th. 3 to 5 p.m. in Student Center East, room 302, to aid in increasing and ensuring transparency between the undergraduate student body and the administration of UIC. Let it be further resolved that the undergraduate student government will allocate $550 for the purchase and delivery of the following items as listed. And let it be further resolved that any unspent funds will be returned to the USG.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution? If not, we'll move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2023-7-2014, please say aye.
Aye.
All that opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? The ayes have it, this resolution has been passed. Next order of business is resolution 23-7-2002. Representative.
Whereas Antonio Juan Nazario Luna has been an important member of the USC community for many years, where he participates by handing out smiles with his streets and hospitality campus. And whereas in light of the recent GoFundMe fundraiser created by the UIC students named Support Juan Developed Street UIC Street Vendor, being able to exceed the goal dollar amount twice. Whereas Antonio has become a clear target for criminals on the campus due to the high attraction gained through this fundraiser, his vulnerable physical status and whereas the safety of students members of the USC community is a top priority in government, then let it be resolved the USG general body asks that the USC police department partake in the correct precautions when ensuring the physical safety of the street vendors when on campus after this money has been awarded. Let it be further resolved that the USG general body asks that Endemio is removed from the campus grounds as a short-term solution to the concerns revolving his physical safety at the UIC campus.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution? Yes.
I will motion to amend the resolution.
Go ahead.
I motion just to correct Representative Isaiah Erlbacher last name.
There's been a motion to amend Representative Erlbacher's last name so that it is spelled correctly. Is there a second?
I second
that.
My bad.
All that opposed, please say nay. All those in favor, my bad. Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? The ayes have it, the amendment has been passed. Any other questions regarding this resolution? Yes.
I just wanted to ask, because there's always some considerations of, after this public presentation, the monetary award, was there any consideration there just not?
So the way it's being carried out, this resolution more regardless of the fact that it's happening instead of the public event that they're planning to have. I've been in communication with them and they did state that they don't plan on carrying out the public event because, he doesn't feel comfortable with it and, they're taking that into consideration. The purpose of this is just to notify the, police department that this is happening and, that we don't want them to remove him as a short-term solution because the fundraiser is a public, situation. So everyone knows about it and that's the biggest concern in regard of like when his money, when he's gonna receive the money. I believe their announcement is gonna be made on Wednesday. And, the transaction already happened in the private manner. So, that's just with regard of like, people knowing that this happened and, we don't want anyone to hurt them because this being public information.
Any other questions? If not, we'll move on to voting. All in favor of adopting resolution 2023 S7 2002, please say aye.
Aye.
All that opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, oh. The ayes have it, the resolution has been passed. The next order of business is resolution 2023 S7 5005. May we have someone present this?
Oh, yeah, I got you. It's not working. Is it? It's not.
Okay, pass out.
It's
I don't
dead.
know.
Yeah, that was.
I'm just gonna say that loud.
I know.
I'm just gonna say that loud. Thank you for that, though. Whereas USG hosts various supply giveaways throughout the year, and whereas USG seeks to increase its presence on campus and make itself known to students as a resource and institution. And whereas USG will always find use in promotional bags, as their versatile nature allows for them to be distributed at any USG event, then let it be resolved that USG shall allocate at most $1,000 for the purchase of 650 promotional bags with the USG logo. Let it be further resolved that any unspent allocated funds shall be returned to the USG budget.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution? If not, we'll move on to voting. All in favor of adopting resolution 2023 S7 5005, please say aye.
Aye.
All that opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, this resolution has been passed. The next order of business is resolution 2023 S7 5006. May we have someone present this?
I'll go ahead and present this as well.
Okay.
Whereas the undergraduate student government seeks to promote social events for students on campus, and whereas the undergraduate student government aims to partner with registered departmental organizations on campus, and whereas the undergraduate student government seeks to partner with the commuter and off-campus life center in order to engage commuter students and promote campus culture, then let it be resolved that on March 28th from 4 to 6 p.m., the undergraduate student government shall host a movie night event in the commuter center in collaboration with the COCO. And let it be further resolved that USG shall allocate a maximum of $175 for the purchase of 10 pizzas from the USC catering for the attendees of the event. And let it be further resolved that any unspent funds shall be returned to the USG budget.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution? If not, we'll move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2023 S7 5006, please say aye. All that oppose, please say nay.
Oh, no, I just had a question.
Yes.
Do you know how many people are like expected to come? Like, have you done a Google form or like anything for like an RSVP, or is it just kind of like a first come, first base?
I think Treasurer Quinn would be the best person to ask that.
Yeah, so we talked to the Community and Off-Campus Life Center about this, and they're aiming to get around 50 people because this will be hosted in the Community and Off-Campus Life Center, and that's generally the capacity, so they're aiming for 50 people.
Any other questions or comments? Do you have a follow-up question?
Oh, yeah. Wait, never mind.
Any other questions? And if not, we'll move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2023 S7 5006, please say aye. All that oppose, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, this resolution has been passed. The next order of business is resolution 2023 S7 5007. Representative Devajinsky, would you like to present this?
Yeah, actually can't read today, but I'll try. Whereas an undergraduate student government, USG advocates for students, and whereas USG seeks to accurately collect and represent the opinions concerning the suggestions of students on campus to be able to improve the well-being of all in the university, and whereas USG seeks to inform the students on its mission as an organization to provide legitimacy and meaning to its work, and whereas in order to spread the mission of USG and also provide student concerns and opinions, USG must utilize social media avenues such as TikTok to interview students. Then let it be resolved that USG will allocate a maximum of $100 to purchase wireless microphones. The breakdown below. Let it be further resolved that all unspent funds shall be returned to the USG budget. There's also a link that works, and the microphones. And I also want to say that in the breakdown, it's the original price that's not discounted as it's shown, because I wanted to make sure that if we do decide to pass this resolution, it actually is like definitely covers it, but it should be less. So I think it should be like under $60. Are there any questions? Oh, that's you.
Yeah. You're good. Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of interviews are you guys thinking of doing?
Okay, so we've actually discussed like a bunch of different versions of it. I was thinking something along the lines of like, for example, coming up to students, asking them for like their major, blah, 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 like background information, and being like, what is one thing you want to change about USC? Like, what is one thing that's concerning to you? Or asking about, how do you feel about public safety, like your safety on campus? Or what is one thing you like about UIC versus one thing that you don't like? What more do you want to see on campus? All the ideas from like different committees are welcome. We just want to gather accurate data from like actual students. And I feel like we're all very outgoing people, so it would be like pretty easy, I hope. But yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you for that. Yes.
I just also wanted to add that it kind of goes along with our post your thought event, which is like where people come and like comment on issues that they seem fit on campus. Some of the things that we have are like academic support, mental health resources, and campus safety. So, and like aside from gathering data, it's more of us just getting out there and like introducing like USG to students, because not many people know that like USG even does exist. So I guess this is just more of a way of like spreading the word about like our vision and what we do and how we can better assist like the UIC community.
I'm gonna follow up on that. Actually don't talk that often in here, but it's a way to engage with our students, bring awareness to our organization overall. Social media is huge right now. And we want to start putting out content, especially when it gets warmer in Chicago, and we'll be able to go on the street and actually like meet our students and, you know, mingle, find out what they need. I think it's important that they know about what we do so they can speak up on like our initiatives. And yeah. USC.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments regarding this resolution? If not, we will move on to voting. Okay, all in favor of adopting resolution 2023 S7 5007, please say aye. All that oppose, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, the ayes have it, and this resolution has been passed. The next order of business is new business. Starting with resolution 2023 S8 2015. May we please have someone present this? Jesse?
One more time. Whereas the undergraduate student government seeks to host events to strengthen and bring the undergraduate student community together. And whereas USG seeks to engage with student organizations and establish a connection with different colleges and their respective students. And whereas there's a strong need for community strengthening events and opportunities for students to network with one another, then let it be resolved that USG shall host an event on April 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. in the Illinois room titled Future Business Minds, a Professional Development and Networking Event, to involve around 20 different business student organizations and a variety of panelists with different business experiences. Let it further be resolved that USG shall allocate $750 for the purchase of refreshments and snacks for the anticipated 150 attendees. Let it further be resolved that all unspent funds shall be returned to the budget before the end of the spring 2023 semester. I also wanted to highlight the reason why it's $750 is because we're expecting 150 people. So in that case, it'd be like $5 per person.
Thank you. I will now open up the floor for discussion. Are there any questions, comments, or amendments that need to be made to this resolution? If there are no further comments, we will move on to voting next week. The next order of business is resolution 2023 S8 2016. Representative Cordova, would you like to present this?
Whereas the undergraduate student government's mission seeks to promote the interests of the student body and to ensure there is effective communication between students, student organizations, faculty, staff. And whereas it is the undergraduate student government's responsibility to ensure the voices of the UIC community are heard by USG. And whereas as leaders in our community, it is our duty to empower the UIC community to feel heard about concerns they may have and to make UIC a better campus experience, then let it be resolved that the undergraduate student government shall host a town hall titled UIC Community Speaks on April 10th from 3 to 5 in SCE 302. Let it be further resolved that this event shall seek to accomplish a sense of collaboration between the UIC community and USG by hearing their concerns about issues not limited to mental health recognition, student worker rights, textbook costs, accessibility on campus, and more. Let it be further resolved that the undergraduate student government shall allocate a maximum of $325 to UIC Community Speaks, and any unspent funds shall be returned.
Thank you. I will now open up the floor for discussion. Are there any questions, comments, or amendments that need to be made to this resolution? Yes.
So will the panelists be USG members?
Yes.
Okay,
So, yeah, so I will be sending out like a Google form for like each committee. So like, I know some people may not be able to make it during those times. So like, I hope that at least one person from each community and the e-board member will be able to come. If the whole committee. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we will move on to vote. Oh, yes, go ahead.
Since like we've got a lot of committees and having like 2 people from each committee would end up being around like 10 to like 12 people. Are you gonna be doing kind of like a classic town hall style where like there's a panel at the front, or is it kind of gonna be like a sort of circle / like U shape where it's
so it's gonna
distributed?
be kind of like a U shape. So it's gonna be like this, except the middle part, and then the microphone will be here.
Any other questions? If not, we will be voting on the, oh, yes. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was requested to make an executive order on this to allow ample time for promoting this town hall to the student body.
The president has moved to make this resolution an executive order, so we will vote on it today.
So would this town hall count, like would this count in its official capacity in terms of, like, I know last, was that the semester? Anyway, one of our semesters where it was mandatory for representatives to attend. Okay.
Any further questions or comments?
Just to follow up on that, town halls are mandatory for us to attend, but if you have class or if you have like something that you're obligated to go to, like work, etc., just let us know. It should be excused.
Any other questions? If not, we will move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2023 S8 1016, please say aye.
Aye.
All that opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? The ayes have it. This resolution has been passed. The next order of business is resolution 2023 S8 1017. Would someone like to-
I'll be presenting it over Zoom.
She's on Zoom, right? Is she on Zoom? Rena Jen?
Can everyone hear me? Yeah. Can everyone hear me? Ready, Rena. Okay. Hi, guys. Wait, could everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is a resolution for UIC's Mental Health Week. So whereas the UIC student body experiences a great amount of stress, especially during midterms in the last month of school, and whereas students would benefit from activities and events that could potentially lower levels of stress and increase productivity, then let it be resolved that the USG shall, let it be resolved that the USG shall host a series of events entitled USC Mental Health Week. Sorry, it keeps freezing, where we will host an event for every weekday of the week to alleviate levels of stress among the student body and provide activities and events to benefit students' mental health. Let it be further resolved, these events shall take place from Monday, April 2nd to Friday, April 7th. And let it be further resolved that the event shall be outlined in the document attached to the resolution. And let it be further resolved that the event shall cost a total of, I will make an amendment for that later, where all costs are outlined in the spreadsheet attached. And let it be further resolved that all unspent funds and materials shall go back to the USG budget.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution? Yes.
One, was this created like from the orientation that we attended?
Could you clarify that a little bit, like the orientation for USG or the orientation for just like UIC students?
USG orientation.
No, this was something that we came up with first semester. We just started, we drafted the idea and then we actually got a move on it second semester. So if there's any overlap with the orientation, I apologize, but this was drafted before the orientation.
Okay, and secondly, can you grant access for the document?
Yes, I can. I am currently not at my computer right now. I'm joining off my phone, but I will grant access as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Probably not.
All right, well, my question is there, like, does this week have any significance, April 2nd through April 7th? Like, is that some week in particular why we have to have the event that week?
Did you hear that? So the reason why we chose that week was because it was kind of like a good timing between spring break and also the end of the year. And also it was planned so that it would kind of be like a reliever between like midterm season and final season. There was no real significance to the actual dates themselves. Rather, it was just kind of like a period of the year where everything was kind of starting to build up towards finals.
So since next week is spring break and we will not have a general body meeting, that means that this resolution won't be voted upon until the 27th. And if we're hosting it in the week of the 4th, I'm just gonna say outright, it's not gonna give us enough time to get these items from the Dean of Students. So I'm just wondering, would you be open to pushing this back maybe a couple of weeks?
Yeah, we would be able to push it back. What do you think would be best? Like a week after, 2 weeks after, maybe?
I think 2 weeks should be plenty of time.
Okay, then I can go ahead and I would like to make an amendment to the resolution then.
There's been a motion to amend the resolution. Yes, what would you like to say?
I would like to change, the timeline from April 2nd to April 7th to the week of April 16th to April 22nd.
There's been a motion to change the date to be from April 2nd to the 7th, to be changed to April 16th to April 27th. 22nd, sorry. All those in favor of this amendment? Is there a second? Sorry.
I second.
All those in favor of this amendment, please say aye. All that oppose, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? The ayes have it. This amendment has been passed.
Yeah. Sorry, Brina, do you wanna just go ahead and make your other, amendment?
Yes. Sorry, I would like to make an amendment to change, or to add the total cost of, the mental health week to $650.
There has been an amendment to change the total cost of this resolution to be $650. Is there a second? All those in favor of this amendment, please say aye. All that oppose, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? The ayes have it. That amendment has been passed. Are there any other questions? Yes.
Yeah, I have a question about the room usage. So I saw that in a couple of the days in the spreadsheet, we'll be needing to reserve some rooms. So I'm just curious, like what room do you think we will be requiring for this? Because I see that we've allocated $100 for a couple of days for the rooms, and I think that the prices of the rooms are generally a lot cheaper than that, but like, I just wanna know, like, what's gonna be taking place in the rooms? Like, what size room should we anticipate we'll need to reserve?
So the cost of the rooms was actually a mishap on mine and Gia's end. We weren't sure how much it was to create a room reservation, to be quite transparent with you. So that's why we allocated the $100 in there. However, if it is cheaper, I would be more than willing to work with you on that, just because this is the first time we made a room reservation. So that's why we put $100 in, but we only need 3 in-person events. Monday is our therapy dog event, so we would like to have that reserved in SCE somewhere. Wednesday is our fitness event, so we would like to have a room in the rec reserved, and Thursday is our bullet journaling event, so it would just be a room like SCE 302, if that answers your question.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hi, Brina.
Hello.
I just wanted to say, if you can forward me all that information, I'm more than happy to help you with that and to also do like an estimated cost breakdown. I just need like some information, like if there's a specific room set up, how many expected attendees, just all that information. You can forward that to me via email or group me.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I'll do that once I get access to my computer again tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Yes.
So is this the same approved vendor that SAB uses for Doggy
I do not believe so. Michelle could probably elaborate better on this, but we actually had to switch vendors because the first one that we contacted actually was not available for the month of April. So we contacted another vendor that outlined the spreadsheet that I will also forward / give access when we're done here. But yeah, Michelle, do you have an answer on that by chance?
I don't believe it's the same, vendor. We contacted the updated vendor since the other one was available.
And is this approved?
Not yet.
Would it help then if, we reach out to SAB to see, who, they use for their therapy dogs? And then we can also coordinate because, I'm checking, their dog palooza was on May 4th. I mean, I'm always happy to have dogs on campus, but, CSI, told me last semester just to make sure that their our events don't coincide with theirs. So do you think it would be helpful if I got you guys connected, just to streamline things?
Yeah, sure. Just send me a message on GroupMe, and I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? If there are no further comments or questions, we'll move on to voting on this resolution next week. The next order of business is Resolution 2023 S8 1018. Can someone please present this?
So whereas the undergraduate student government seeks to inform and engage with students on campus, and whereas the USG recognizes the importance of in-person events for community building and collecting student feedback, and whereas the Student Center East Building is a central location on campus for student traffic, and whereas tabling events provide an opportunity for USG to connect with students and inform them about the organization's missions and initiatives, then let it be resolved that USG will host a tabling event at Student Center East Building during the spring semester to garner student opinions / concerns on the following issues: campus safety, mental health, and academic safety. And let it be further resolved that USG will allocate a maximum of $50 to purchase approximately 3 poster boards, post-it notes, and candy for this event. And let it be further resolved that all unspent funds shall be returned to the USG budget.
Thank you. I will now open up the floor for discussion. Are there any questions, comments, or amendments that need to be made to this resolution? If not, we'll move on to voting next week. The next order of business is Resolution 2023 S8 10,000XX. Oh, it's tabled. Okay, awesome. I mean, here's the. Okay, the next order of business is Resolution 2023 S8 5008. Someone present this?
I motion that we table this resolution and we introduce, this new resolution with amendments as.
There's been a motion to table the resolution in the current packet. Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor of this amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
All that opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, the ayes have it. This amendment has been passed. So please refer to the email in the chain.
Resolution 2023 S8 5008, statement against political extremism on campus, USG's Beyond the Echo Chamber, a symposium on freedom of speech. She sponsors on myself as a representative, Sarah Erlbacher, Secretary Daniel Tenabat, Legislative Affairs Chairman Mayor Alvarez, Representative Edward Barr, co-sponsors Representative Anthony Cruz, Representative Melody Slaughter, Representative Timothy Yusuf, Representative Sam Flynn, and Representative Lauren Cannon. Whereas the undergraduate student government, USG, has a vested interest in empowering freedom of speech and expression on campus, indicative of our campus cultural and political ideological diversity, and whereas the sacrosanct right to express one's thoughts and beliefs must be observed peaceably, respected peaceably, and not disparaging communal identities. And whereas USG condemns any and all political extremism and violence, right center, let it be resolved. The following statement expresses that USG does not condone any political extremism, especially towards marginalized groups in our great US community, as well as hope for peace and politics. Let it be further resolved that the undergraduate student government will host an open event beyond the echo chamber, a organizations on campus and all students to engage in a discussion on freedom of speech. And let it be further resolved, the event will invite a guest speaker or guest speakers to lead the discussion by sharing their academic insights and answer questions from students. And let it be further resolved, the event recorded and shared on undergraduate social media platforms to be accessible for all students. And the statement below reads, Dear USC community, on March 9th, 2023, Turning Point USA hosted a live freedom for the Charlie First at the Isidore and Sadie Dorman Forum campus. While some students were in favor of the event, many students felt ostracized and excluded. For the event, several student organizations outreached to the administration and protested the event. In addition, divisive language targeted marginalized communities. For example, President Trump's claim the stories of minorities, quote unquote, false narratives and quote unquote ideological lies. Among these claims, he dismissed the existence of systemic racism. We, the undergraduate student government, understand the importance of freedom of speech. The University of Illinois Chicago holds a diverse population of students with various backgrounds, passions, and political ideologies. We encourage the difficult discussions that arise from the diversity and activism within our community, no matter what political stance, left, right, or center. This inevitable right is the hallmark of our democratic republic, and we must peaceably engage with those in agreement and dissent. However, when any political expression turns into exclusion of minority and marginalized communities, the undergraduate student government condemns this. We hope for peace in politics and civil discourse on campus where people are judged on merit and character rather than political identities. We implore the university administration to be more considerate of the needs of marginalized groups when guest speakers book campus spaces. We invite all students on campus to express any concerns within our weekly general body meetings so that we may address and positive solutions to diffuse political differences. The undergraduate student government will work to further initiatives and host events that foster an environment with a healthy exchange of ideas across the spectrum. The undergraduate student government condemns all attacks on marginalized groups at the University of Chicago. When we look at our fellow students, what we see and know our dignity, diversity, and community. UIC has many complex, hardworking, strong students who value and love the community from different backgrounds, families, and faiths. Sincerely, the undergraduate.
Thank you. I will now open up the floor for discussion. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Representative Slaughter.
So I have a comment that I would like to turn into a motion. To begin with, I absolutely agree with basically what was presented. What I do think leaves room for improvement is the line, whereas USG condemns any and all political extremism, especially because, like, given the society that we live in, political extremism exists, and that in such a nature, you almost need it to count, like, some sort of political extremism to counteract what we already have. So I would like to motion to amend and remove political extremism, or at the end it follows because then there's that, from that specific line.
There has been a motion to remove the line political extremism from this resolution. Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor of this amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose, please say nay. Does anyone abstain?
Can everyone vote, please, loudly with your voices?
All those in favor of this amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? The ayes have it. This amendment has been passed. Are there any other questions or comments regarding this? Yes.
Yeah, so just to give a little bit more context regarding this issue, we have wanted to talk about the slide project. And I think we mentioned the fact that we cannot condemn organizations for coming, even though we might not agree with them. She has very, they represent a variety of students, no matter their age. Now, the issue with this event though is, of course, they have it, but we're pinpointing certain things they mentioned during the event. For example, among some things mentioned during the event, they dismissed systemic racism. They dismissed the differences between skin tones. I know one line from the event was one of the members. He said, he asked Black individuals, what's one thing that I can do that you can't? Obviously dismissing the barriers between race. He also mentioned that there's no importance in seeing color. Very controversial. Color. Different people of different spectrums have different things they can and can do. So we need to see color. Obviously, that's not to say that not everyone is the same color. So that's what we're targeting here. Not condemning anyone who would say coming to campus, but condemning specific things they said. Frankly, shouldn't be. So at the end, you mentioned what we asked to get restricted. Be a little bit more conscious to invite campus, because usually the these who spark these hatred narratives should not go on. Whether it's the fault or not, we do not see access to the. Now, the second part, with this, resolution, you mentioned the beyond the echo chamber of speech. Great, we want to say, okay, I wanted to speak about it. So I approached Secretary John about an event that LUC about done. But having an interview with two individuals, one of them being Dr. David Sabal, which is critical among the course of teachers, one is critical race here on campus. Very decorated individual who knows what he's talking about. With the idea was that kind of having just talking, asking students what do they think about freedom of speech, and asking directors, Professor, what are your thoughts on this? Students are concerned about that. What can you say about this? And of course, having it recorded, we can share it on our social media. The town hall is great. We want to make sure that this time with Dr. Stovall, we have a digital footprint about it, and students go back to this review it. We hope.
I just wanted to clarify a little. So the symposium is on how to actually engage in those conversations, because whether we have a lot of control over it or not on who gets to make events on campus, we still have to figure out how are we supposed to have those conversations with them when they are here. And even though this is, from what we understand, is a majority liberal university, there are still ways that, other ideologies are present on campus. And unfortunately, this event showed that, there is so much polarization that is present. And this symposium is from those academics who have this experience. So Professor Stovall is aware of what happens in our political climate in the city and has tackled those specific issues, whether it is on, critical race theory and its remnants that it has on our students today, or on, educational inequities that are happening, which Turning Point has dismissed. We're looking for another guest speaker who will actually talk to us and engage in the more freedom of speech aspect of it. But really, it's supposed to get a bunch of, well, all students are welcome to it, but politically affiliated organizations at the forefront, because their concerns, these organizations are the most expressive of these political concerns. And it's not necessarily just politically affiliated, at face value for those organizations. It could be like SJP, PLS. So if anyone actually has any suggestions, I wanted to just open it up. If you feel as though there's an organization that you personally feel should be present and engaging in this conversation, please let anyone written in chief sponsor or co-sponsor, you can just forward it to them. And anyone that also wants to join along in this event / initiative, please feel free to do so. It's not limited to the names on here. I think collectively as an organization, and as the statement below shows, I think we should all be on board. And I hope when this, if this event, if this resolution is passed, and then if the event occurs, I hope to see many of you present, helping out with this and bringing more people. So here.
I just wanted to ask, do you guys have a time or a date for the event, or like maybe a room you're looking at?
So what was the first one you said?
So time or date, like even if it's not just specific, around like what week of the semester maybe are
We're
you
hoping the
thinking?
first week of April so that we can have enough time to not only have the event, but throughout that week, we're gonna table to promote the event and also to have people engage with other people who have specific concerns on this topic. And then I spoke with the PAC committee. I spoke with PAC today, if they would be willing to do like candid interviews on campus of not any specific issues, but just on what it feels to be a college student expressing freedom of speech in a university setting. There's no specific time, but we're hoping a little bit earlier, like 5, 6 p.m. We're hoping that people will stick around that long. We're still exploring that. And the room that we are hoping to have it in is a lecture center, actually. So it would kind of like model what an actual lecture is like, but also I think it just reduces the need for like, this person needs to grab this microphone, you know what I mean? Like it projects already, and our speakers will have a lapel mic. And there's no cost for any of this. So I feel like it's just organized perfect, like no room setup, nothing. Did you have did I miss anything? Okay. Thank you.
So for starters, I've already told the Secretary Danya about this. But one of my main concerns about this event, is specifically the speakers. I fear that having a professor from what is already a liberal institution only like serves to further cloud our goal in terms of really trying to reach out, or reach out across the aisle. I do see the merit, obviously, in having a liberal professor there at least, but I think if we could find a conservative one, someone more known for their conservative opinions or views, it would make the event seem a bit more unbiased. I think that otherwise we could completely miss our target audience. If the whole goal is to open up conversation, what we're only basically serving or doing is alienating people. And in a sense, I feel that while I agree with a lot of the values that this letter outlines, it also holds that same merit in ideology. And the reason why I say that is because it looks like, oh, so now we're on our own turf. We feel comfortable saying these things, but no UIC, well, barely any UIC liberal students felt comfortable going to this event and like showing support in numbers and saying, hey, this is what we feel as a collective. And there are whatever in the space that was on campus. I think a point that even Charlie Kirk said, and honestly, I couldn't fault him at. He was like, how are you, a liberal campus who talks about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but we're like our views are alienated campus. So it's not that I'm saying we should welcome those views, but that there has to be space to have conversation. Otherwise, what we're only going to do is further antagonize each other. There's not going to be really any room for growth, communication, or partnership in like our democratic republic. Yeah.
Thank you. Are we gonna have questions and comments? Yes.
Yeah, so I have a recommendation to invite some representatives from this organization called FIRE. Is anyone aware of FIRE, the Foundation for Individual Rights and Education? So I think they would, I met them over the summer when I attended one of their conferences.
I think they would be great people to speak on free speech. If you're unaware of them, I would recommend that you look them up. I believe they do great work in terms of free speech. And I think we should invite them to this event. But in addition, you know, I feel like the statement and the event should be two separate resolutions. Because I think there's more we can do in the planning and organization of this event, which is completely separate from statement. That's why in the resolution codes, there's two separate things.
No, that's, he can answer that. Go ahead.
Okay, so it was, our thought process that we wanted to have the statement, right? And then the event to be kind of like our action. So it's not just words, it's words, not with action. And that's why we decided to have it one resolution, but two, so it can be seen in the record as all the facts, if that makes sense.
Yeah, plus, we want to get, in the space, of course, from what's going on right now, this doesn't really require funding, everything right now, we've got some people, so we don't want to take a, we don't want to take a space, starting that, and, thank you for the suggestion, by the way. I didn't want to talk about, I didn't want to, direct the, episode that I had, that was worked out. But it is something that we took into consideration, the fact that we have a liberal professor, conversation without the opposition. And we wanted, one thing we wanted to address is that this isn't really, more of a shared concern. But we wanted to go further, and at the beginning of the actual event, we are going to symbol, acknowledge, yes, this is a liberal professor, liberal ideas, however, not that everything means, yes, that he remains an open, the ones that he stays open-minded, if, when, and if, make sure he doesn't bend them, at the end of the day, those students, like this. So at the end, it's just a small lecture interview, and we just want to make sure that everyone's voices are included. Sadly, there aren't many conservative professors here on campus, so it is difficult to find one, especially others. But still looking for more guest speakers to attend this meeting. If anyone has any ideas or knows, like public conservative professors on campus, let us know. We'll definitely have.
So consideration that we had was to invite the advisor from YAF. Don't know who they are. It's an organization, it's a nationwide organization. They have a chapter here, Young America Foundation.
Young Americans for Freedom.
Oh my gosh, Young Americans for Freedom. Okay, so we were considering inviting the advisor, but just regarding that organization to outreach them. I don't know if maintain a relationship is like the right phrase, but like, have some communication with them to see if they also know any other individuals or groups on campus that could bring nuance to the table. Because again, it's not a debate, but it should be open enough to where the title is Beyond the Echo Chamber, so we don't want it to be an echo chamber. But yeah, if any of you feel concerned that it is too leaning one way, just email any of us, and if you have any recommendations, suggestions, amendments, let us know. It's still like, there's nothing solidified, even the guest speakers isn't fully solidified until this is voted upon.
I just wanted to make one maybe suggestion, I guess, for a guest speaker is like inviting maybe a representative or a senator or somebody that works in the state office, because they're the people that are kind of having those conversations between like both parties, between ideologies and stuff like that. So kind of having somebody there to kind of showcase what that conversation takes place in daily life would, I think, be a pretty good idea.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Yeah, it's still my strongest recommendation that
that the statement and the event is two separate resolutions. First, you just follow our resolution codes. But secondly, for the event itself, this free speech is a very important topic, and topics we're going to be discussing are also very important to these students. I think it's fair that we take more time to plan this event and host it in a better space that's not a lecture center, especially since if we consider buying fire to this event, because now right now going to contact to them to see if they'd like to provide us with some free books on free speech and higher education. And I think it'd be a great giveaway for students who would be able to attend this event. And so, again, that's my recommendation. We have 2 weeks to plan. So,
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, we will move on to voting next week. 2 weeks from now. The next order of business is resolution 2023 S8 2005. Can someone present this, and please refer to the email thread. 3005.
So the resolution reads, whereas Ramadan is a month in which Muslims participate in fasting from before dawn until sunset, abstaining from food and water. Muslims also participate in nightly worship. And whereas Ramadan is expected to begin on Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023, and last through April 21st, 2023. And whereas in a recent email sent out, the University of Illinois College of Medicine stated, in addition to special considerations for disease management during Ramadan, the COVID-19 pandemic continues to place social and emotional hardships on those observing Ramadan. And whereas due to fasting, Muslim students can experience higher amounts of fatigue and hunger. And whereas USC is a school that has 15.6% of its students' population identifying as Muslim. And whereas USC is an institution that prides itself as being inclusive of all its students. And whereas the University of Illinois Chicago College of Medicine released an email to its listservs that informs students, faculty, and staff of information regarding Ramadan and urges sensitivity and understanding during this time. And whereas the USC Senate updated its policy on religious holidays by extending the original deadline to submit religious exemptions requests from 10 days to 4 weeks. And whereas members of the undergraduate student government have observed both students and faculty not being aware of this change. And whereas USC official student emails are sent to everyone on its listservs, spanning the entire undergraduate student body, faculty, and staff. Then let it be resolved, undergraduate student government requests that an email informing the USC community about the start of Ramadan and encouraging sensitivity and accommodations for students in observation be sent via official student at listservs.usc.edu. This email will emulate the one sent by University of Illinois Chicago College of Medicine. Let it be further resolved, this email should be sent before March 21st to inform the USC community about students observing Ramadan. Let it be further resolved, the undergraduate student government requests that the updated USC Senate policy on religious holidays also be included in this email to educate students on the newly updated religious exemption process. And I've attached the message that University of Illinois Chicago College of Medicine sent out, and we hope that it would emulate this. And it also links a lot of great resources that you can read up on.
Thank you. I will now open up the floor for discussion. Are there any questions, comments, or amendments that need to be made? If not, we'll be voting on this next week.
as requested to place an executive order on this resolution.
The president has moved to make this resolution an executive order, so we will vote on it today. Is there a second? Linda asked that? No, that does not matter, right? Okay. Okay, so we'll be voting on this today. All in favor of adopting? Are there any questions? Yeah, sorry. Yes.
Okay, so what's the title of the resolution?
It is resolution 2023 S8 3005.
It's in the chain,
The email chain. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, if not, we will move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution, 2023 S8 3005, please say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, the ayes have it, and the resolution has been passed. The next order of business is resolution 2023 S8 2001, also found in the email chain. Can somebody present it?
This resolution reads, whereas mass shootings continue to be on the rise throughout the United States, and whereas at Michigan State University on February 13, 2023, there was an active shooter situation tragedy, and whereas students, faculty, and staff should be provided with the proper information and resources in order to prevent and prepare for instances of violence on campus, and whereas requiring active shooter and other important violence prevention modules during new student orientation will help prepare and disseminate information to students on how to prevent and react in instances of active shooter situations. And whereas student safety is a top priority of undergraduate student government and the USC student population, then let it be resolved. Undergraduate student government urges the university to adopt informational active shooter, bystander training, and anonymous reporting tool video modules into their required new student orientation. And attached to this resolution, there's a letter, and there's some research attached that talks about other schools that have implemented modules for this. And Quinnipiac University actually implemented a similar module directly in response to the MSU tragedy, just as some evidence of other schools sort of following this trend in light of the tragedy.
Thank you. I will now open up the floor for discussion. Are there any questions, comments, or amendments regarding this resolution? Yes.
So we'll also be executive ordering this tonight. For some context, about this resolution, we've had, a lot of meetings, one with the provost, one with the director for, Center for Student Involvement, and one with, Vice Chancellor for Administrative Services. Readiness. So to explain, we plan to ensure that students are prepared for an active threat situation. Basically, this plan consists of mapping out exit points for each room, each building, and based on what we map out, we'll provide this information to meetings and conferences to provide every time you preserve a room here at US. Here in SCE, and hopefully we can expand across all of the campus. And so this letter will help us to continue its support for this. The things are going very, very fast as public safety is becoming a bigger and bigger topic, not just here at UIC, but across all of.
The president has moved to make this resolution an executive order, so we will vote on it today. Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, if not, we will move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2023 S8 2001, please say aye.
Aye.
All that opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, the ayes have it, and the resolution has been passed. The next order of business is resolution 2023 S8 3006. Please refer to the email chain. May someone present this, please?
So whereas the undergraduate student government seeks to advocate for the success of students, which includes efficient usage of campus spaces for students to study, and whereas the UIC library operations have been limited since the COVID-19 lockdowns, and whereas there is strong student body support for the UIC library to open up its resources, and whereas having UIC library resources, including library spaces, being more available will allow students to study independently and collaborate with each other in a productive environment. And whereas the undergraduate student government leaders have held fruitful negotiations with UIC library leadership and have come to an agreement among their talks and negotiations, then let it be resolved that the undergraduate student government supports the following: the reopening of the Idea Commons to be open 24 hours, 5 days a week. 2, to allow study rooms to be open permanently.
3, to allow students to bring food and drinks into the UIC daily library. And 4, allowing the checking of student IDs after 9 p.m. And then be further resolved, the undergrad student government shall issue the following honor code to ensure library policies to be adhered to. By using the space, odd user of the space and honor bound to 1, keep my spaces clean for the students and users. 2, refrain from abusing drugs, alcohol, smoking, vaping in library spaces. And 3, commit to upholding UIC's policy of academic integrity and student code of conduct.
Thank you. I will now open up the floor for discussion. Are there any questions, comments, or amendments that need to be made?
Just a question. Did the library state when they'd be reopening the idea commons and like when these ideas or when these things are going to be implemented?
Yeah, so firstly, for context, we've been talking with the library to reopen this for way as long as back as spring of 2022. And this has been ongoing negotiations, and finally they agreed that the idea commons can be open 24 hours, 5 days a week. This hopefully could be implemented as soon as even next year, but it really depends how strongly are we able to get the necessary resources and logistics for this. And this is why the library actually requested that resolution be introduced.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yes.
What does it mean that undergraduate student government shall issue the honor code?
Yeah, so a part of this authorized to open up the rooms. They asked us to also include another honor code, same thing how we did with the study rooms last semester, but just for the entire space. So this will be distributed on each table.
Any other questions or comments? Yes.
So I kind of feel like, where it says, support to allow students to move food and drinks. I kind of meant against food actually, but also not. Like I'm kind of fine with bringing snacks, not necessarily like a whole lunch, you know what I'm saying? Feels like people are kind of messy, and I used to frequently last semester. It'll be like pretty like messy sometimes with splashes of water. I'm kind of against just food, but not necessarily like snacks. Goldfish is fine, that's fine. But not like the whole, like Panda Express, all that stuff.
Before the library temporarily shut down some of its operations, I believe they did allow students to have lunch, at least on, I think maybe the first and second floors. The other floors were off limit to like foreign meals, I suppose. This is something that the library agrees to, and that they're willing to have this and be ready for the eventual students obviously can't be helped that some might leave their mess, but that's why we will have these honor codes.
Because like I can go there sometimes. Like, a lot of people in rush just leave a table and just sit down, just messy. Thanks.
Yes.
Did they mention anything about like reopening like the little coffee shop they had?
Oh yes, they will look into reopening that as well.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we'll move on to voting next week.
Yeah, I'd like to use an executive order to vote on this tonight, just because this is something that the library would like to have, and they'll also help us when we advocate about this in other spaces outside, meeting with you, the library leadership.
The president has moved to make this resolution an executive order, so we will vote on it today. Are there any last questions or comments?
regarding this resolution? If not, all those in favor of adopting resolution 2023 S8 3006, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, the ayes have it, and this resolution has been passed. The next order of business is items for discussion, and our first item of discussion is night ride. Representative Giron, would you like to present this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have scheduled a meeting between, me and Veronica with, the Vice Chancellor John Coronado this Thursday. And, I just wanted to reopen the door and see what people suggest to be the correct hours when it comes to night ride. We spoke on the fact that with these hours should be bumped up. We did have some support from the Director of USG Transportation, Robert Derek. And, I did hear some comments before about, these hours being bumped up. Well, I mentioned 10 p.m., but, I know somebody mentioned, 9 p.m. as well. So I just want to reopen the floor to see if anyone has any suggestions or ideas, what should be the correct hours. The idea of this, that tomorrow we're gonna go up to him and speak about these different issues and see what is his suggestion and how to move forward, because we want to get this done. In regard of what he, expects from us in order to make this happen, where we're looking at different avenues of, getting a letter from the body, getting a letter from, Rocco Derek himself, and getting, qualitative data from students when we create our tabling events for the Campus Safety Commission. So does anyone have any suggestions or ideas on what hour we should implement for, night ride to be bumped up to? Yeah, I just open the floor for questions.
So just an add on it, we haven't decided on the hour that we're gonna go into pushback, so today or in this week would be the time that should be selecting the hour so that we're going to have a meeting with the USC Transportation Director, and then we're going to use the information or data to talk with Vice Chancellor Coronado. Yeah, that's it for me.
Yes. I think it'd be nice to have night rides start at least like half an hour or maybe an hour before the buildings close, just so that night ride doesn't get overwhelmed by all the students coming out of the buildings at once they get kicked out at 10 p.m. So maybe at like 9 or 9:30.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
What are the current operating hours?
This is 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. That's why I have to push it back, since like I don't really know who come up with the hours, but it's not really logical, like worked for me or any students, since like most of the buildings close at 10. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know, the issue has been, night ride suggestion when buildings close. Definitely opening up for extending hours. Where would be the area? I know when SC the building was at 10 p.m. Library. But I think, opening up an hour and a half. I would make it up. Maybe,
Definitely, yeah. The pilot for this event is the fact that obviously our concern coming into this is student safety. We don't want students walking around, especially when their tuition pays for this service, and we don't have the correct hours in order to allocate our time to use it. In regard of like, USC Transportation, he mentioned the fact that, Rock mentioned the fact that, he also believed that hours should be bumped up to help prevent any congestion, you guys mentioned as well. So we have those two fronts in order when we come forward to this conversation. So taking consideration that 9:30 is a good buffer zone, then we'll bring that up to him and see what he says. At the end of the day, it might be a little difficult, but that's why we're creating the survey and we're tabling the event to get more feedback from students and support this idea. So, yeah, I appreciate your feedback.
yeah, another question. Is this just during the 5 days of the week, or is it all 7 days of the week?
I believe it's 7 days of the week, but we double check.
Any other questions or comments?
I don't believe this is entirely related to the timing of the night ride, but I feel like it should also be included in the conversation. The frequency of which the night ride is operating, or rather, no, not the frequency. The fact that the night ride actually has to adhere to the timings that it promises it would meet students at, because I know like something that a lot of my peers are experiencing is that the night ride, especially on the app where they book the night ride, it is stating that it's coming at a certain time and it doesn't come until like 1 hour later. So I think that might also be something useful to include in that conversation, perhaps.
Yes, so let me break it down a little bit. The operating hour extension is not our only initiative, but as it is our first one, since like we cannot throw everything at the same time on the table and expect the vice chancellor to solve it at the same time. So that is so I already set up with the Google form for the survey related to every single aspect related to NIRA services feedback. So like hopefully I'm gonna release it on the tabling event day so that like I'm going to have more data to work with Coronado, Vice Chancellor Coronado. And regarding to your questions, like yes, we're going to push our first initiative first, since like this is like one of the so like most of the problems they kind of connect together. So like I would see if the first initiative, which is the operating hour extension, can relieve or alleviate the other issues at the same time. So yeah, that's what I want to start first. Do you want to add anything in it?
Just to get a little background, we have a tabling event reserved for March 30th, which is a Thursday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Student Center East. And the purpose of this is to help push the 3 different initiatives which you have inside of the commission, and one of them is night ride. So Veronica is drafting up as the lead the survey for students to fill out in regard to these different concerns. We're ranging from hours to the number of vehicles. So in regard of like these issues, if anyone has any other like feedback and different things we should ask or add on to the survey, feel free to ask to talk to me and Veronica in regard to that, so we can strengthen that survey as strong as possible. Because at the end of the day, this is more like advocacy work, trying to like improve these hours, but trying to prove that it's better. And if we take this route, and if we have a strong survey and strong results, then that helps the cause. That should be it.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I have a follow-up. Okay. There was a resolution passed recently regarding a library shuttle that would start operating at 9 p.m. How exactly would the night ride being pushed up be specifically distinguished from the library shuttle?
Yeah, we have, in regard to library shuttle, the approach is independent in regard to the people that, or the population of students that would ask for the night ride service. For example, we do have already in line some people who have testimony from Greek life. We have others such as the vice president from the Resident House Association for vice president for advocacy. Actually, she came up and also spoke about the fact that she already has numbers according to her to people who live in the dorms that also complain about the fact that NIRA is not effective. So in regard of like how is this independent from like the library shuttle and these different hours, it would impact a different population of students. The library would, I guess, would just pertain to the people who use the library, and this is for a larger impact because we're trying to help different students from different parts of campus. Since this night ride service works around everywhere that involves students that can extend, like I stated, from like Greek life to people who dorm in this campus housing. I know there's different populations from students that we still have to explore that still uses night ride as well, and we have to use that as well to like be able to explore like who uses this and how we can like bring them to the conversation to help strengthen and push this forward. Veronica, you have anything else?
So I believe that Naira is one of the services in the UIC's transportation. So yes, I really appreciate for your questions, but I believe that they are separated, like the screen just like separated like services. Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, with that, we'll wrap up discussion on Night Ride. Thank you all for your input. Are there any other items that need to be raised? Okay, if there are no more items for discussion, we'll move on to the next order of business, which is ex officio reports. May we please have the report of the advisor?
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to plug an event, it's the Leadership Institute. That's hosted by our student leadership, and civic engagement. And that is May 10th through the 13th. It's a 4-day leadership institute for students. I have facilitated it twice. It's a great experience. So I just want to plug that for folks. The application deadline again is this Friday, March 17th. So I look forward to you all. Yeah, I think at some point I'd love to have a conversation about what leadership looks like for this body and how DOS can support that for you all, and how the campus can support that for you all as well. I had 2 other updates from the Dean of Students Office. We did hire someone to replace Keith as the interim assistant dean. That is Eric Pease. And so he was also on campus previously. And so after elections, he will transition to start to also advise and support USG. And then sad news is that Tia Cooper Snyder's last day in office would be March 29th. So I would say let's try to get things into her ASAP, and we're working on trying to find a replacement for her in transition as well. So just letting you know. If things are a priority after that date, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you. Are there any other questions regarding the advisor's report? Yes.
So let's say, for instance, I bring to you, I bring to Tia something that is past March 29th that may have a very large number on it. How long would that take to process in her absence?
The goal is that there wouldn't be any lapses in how the timeline of things. So I know when this happened last time, Michelle was very involved in kind of helping to process things. And so I'm in conversation with Michelle and also other people to see what we can do to support USG in this initiative. So the goal is that it won't take a long time to process those things.
Thank you.
Yes.
Quick question. Is Eric Pete or was he the advisor to sisters previously?
Any other questions? If there are no more comments or questions, the report of the advisor will be filed. The next order of business is officer reports. May we please have the report of the president?
Firstly, I'll hold back my tears hearing that. Know that you're going to be gone.
I'll still be here.
And yeah, it's very unfortunate that Tia won't be in office anymore. I hope it's not because Quinn's call to action for funding. Yeah, for my report, finally we have a chance to talk about this. So just a quick touch up. I've been meeting with Joy to talk about student org funding. This was from a long time ago, but we were able to increase the deadlines from 6 periods to 7 periods. It'll be effective next year. And again, I'm hoping to schedule this meeting between CSI and DOS and the state government to compare funding procedures and see how we can have the best procedure moving forward in future years. And in addition, we kind of have their support for active training and readiness, so that's going to be a work in progress. And yeah, this was also a way long back, but we were able to meet with Keith in his new role as interim director of campus housing. This was with Mike and representatives from RHA. And we talked about the future plans for campus housing. I think it's going to look very bright for the future of not just campus housing, but also for RHA as an organization. So in terms of the meal swipe donation program, we're still waiting for a response from Andrea, who works with campus or not campus care, dining services, Representative Hana has reached out to this individual and will follow up if she does not respond this week. We're looking to get testimonials for the meal swipe donation program, which will get started that very soon. But in regards to the meal swipe donation program, I actually found a very interesting piece of legislation in the Illinois Assembly that supports a grant for meal swipe, or not meal swipes, for food insecurity initiatives. So we're going to look into that more and see how we can get involved and advocate for this if it's the right fit for what we need to do. For campus infrastructure, we're still waiting for a response from Vice Chancellor Coronado about additional outdoor seating. We have a meeting with them this Thursday, so we'll hopefully be able to fit that into the meeting agenda. For campus infrastructure, I met with Charles Farrell. We talked about increasing outlet access across campus, bettering the campus environment by upgrading certain furniture, and just ideas that we can use the reserve fund. And we have Charles Farrell's 100% support for these type of initiatives. We're also inquiring about an initiative that was started out last year, but never got the chance to fully implement and establish, which is the professional headshot booth. So this is basically a booth where you can take a professional headshot. And we're going to be setting up a meeting with a representative from Iris Booth, that's the name of the company, to inquire about the logistics of implementing this. But this is a very cool thing that other student governments were able to establish at their own student governments, or at their own campuses. And we were not able to introduce it tonight, but we do have a program that works. It's called USG Charger Bar Program, basically where you can borrow a charger if you forgot one from building manager. In terms of alumni relations, I had the opportunity to meet with Representative Barr about his alumni event, and I'm hoping we can schedule a meeting soon with Emily Ann. There's other things aside from Representative Barr's event that we hope to organize either this semester or next semester, but we also want to talk about creating a fund where alumni can donate. This will be a fundraiser to support our initiatives here on campus and here at student government. And I want to talk about our active threat readiness plan. I briefly explained this earlier, but we want to provide physical copies of exit plans for each room, as well as like quick synopsis of what to do in case you can't escape, like how you can evade the situation, how you can engage with the person. So that's currently in the works. If you want to be involved in that, please let me know. But for the most part, we are building massive support for active threat readiness. In terms of meetings this week, we'll be meeting with the Vice Chancellor for Administrative Services on Thursday. There's a Career Leadership Council meeting on this Thursday as well, and then the Ambassador Bob Tour is going to happen this Thursday. So this is a very important event. If you don't know who Ambassador Bob is, he's basically a very cute pug. He's the mascot of UIC Library, and so Bob and I will be touring the UIC campus. He's very old and can't walk, so we'll have to carry him on a wagon. So invite all your friends to it. In terms of promotion for this, library has to keep it low key, but tell your friends about it. They're just worried that he might be overwhelmed since he is a very old dog. But it'll be a very fun thing. We're trying to get high-level administrators to come to this event. We're trying to get Sparky to it. Anyone that's involved will give away merchandise, including our side as undergraduate student government. So again, that's Thursday from 12:30 to 1. And I yield my time.
Are there any questions or comments regarding the president's report? If not, the report of the president will be filed. Next, we have the report of the vice president.
everyone, I'll try to keep it short since it's here, getting close to 8. Continue to talk with Campus Safety Commissioner Felix on our efforts for active shooter situations. As Matthew mentioned, Provost Colley was in support of mandated modules, so we're just going to keep pushing for that. And Campus Safety Commissioner Felix and I are going to be talking about what we can do about disseminating information on how to prevent carjackings, because they're up 55% in Chicago, and Chief Booker mentions that just warmer weather increases crime in Chicago. And then campus care representatives reached out to us and referred us to speaking with Vice Chancellor Raphael on matters surrounding 24/7 mental health counseling. So we'll probably be meeting up with him soon to see if that will be in the works. Met with Representative Noor, Representative Saba on Thursday to discuss next steps in response to the meeting Beth and I had with Provost Colley. We're going to be scheduling meetings with Vice Chancellor Polaris so we can discuss the resolution on expanding fall initiatives, as well as the survey results that they collected. I also sent an email to Vice Chancellor Dixon to ask him if he would send it to the RFP committee, and he said that he sent it to the RFP committee. So hopefully, there's some action taken from the survey results that were collected. Also looping in Representative Nora and Representative Saba are looping in Champions throughout all of this. And we got the Associate Chancellor bills from OAE to go to updating their pages on religious holidays, because that wasn't updated to reflect the Senate changes that happened. And during the meeting President Matthew and I had with Provost College, just to run through the stuff that we discussed, matters relating to religious exemptions and how faculty and staff can better accommodate students. Matthew discussed the OER program a little bit and student safety on campus. And then also talked about the USC official student resolution that was just passed today being sent out to students, and she was also in support of that, so we'll be following up with her for that. And then also talking with Dr. Recall about seeing if we can get a religious exemption form for the DOS website. And that concludes our report.
Thank you. And with that, the report of the Vice President will be filed. The next report is the Treasurer.
Hey everyone, I'm going to keep this very, very short and quick for the interest of time, but welcome to week 10, everyone. Doing great work here. We've got a lot done already, and we're still doing a lot. So just want to, congratulate you all for what we have done and say keep up the good work. So I'm not going to talk about the majority of the things in my report. The most important thing here, besides the budget update that I'm going to direct to Jesse, is I would like for all new resolutions requiring funding to be introduced at the next general body meeting, because we have had a lot of allocations recently, and we really need all the next resolutions requiring funding to be introduced as soon as possible, so we can gauge where we're at. We can gauge how much of these allocations need to be returned to the budget, how much we've spent, how much we have yet to spend. So please, 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 all new resolutions, any initiative ideas that you have, please get them in the packet by the next general body meeting, which is March 27th. On that note, I'd like to pass it over to Jesse to give a budget update.
All right, I'll be pretty brief and quick about this. For our special remainder, it does say it's 22,000, but you count for all the allocations that were happened during this meeting, then realistically, our spendable remainder is around $12,000. As Quinn mentioned before, it's very imperative that you guys basically introduce any new initiatives by the 9 p.m. That way we have time to honestly just sort through all these initiatives. Also, if you guys have any basically items that you'd like us to purchase, whether they be from Amazon or that such, please send them to us as fast as possible. That would be just get a more accurate number, and that would show you guys that as well.
Thank you. And with that, the report of the Treasurer will be filed, and the next report is for the Speaker.
Hi, everyone. I know you missed the sound of my voice, but I will also keep it brief. Care package distribution will be on March 27th and March 28th from 12 to 2 p.m. We don't have time after this meeting. So next meeting, I promise I'll do some handwritten notes. So stick around if you are interested in doing that. For the Mental Health Week, Brina introduced the resolution today. And we mentioned the therapy dog org we contacted was booked through the spring, so we reached out to another one. We're waiting on the response. So in the case that that doesn't happen, we will adapt and overcome, and hopefully Matthew's plug with SAB works out too. USG Student Social will be Friday, March 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. at East Terrace. Please come out if you are able to. And we met on Sunday to prep for making the packet and chairing the meeting, and she did an amazing job. Let's give her a round. Okay, and that is all for my report.
Thank you, and with that, the report of the speaker will be filed. Next, we have the report of the chief of staff.
Hi guys, if you see my report, it has some keyboard minutes. They're just brief notes, but if you're interested in what we talked about, you can read them yourself, but a lot of them come into resolutions this week, such as the library, active threat, we've already heard of the bystander event, and the freedom of speech event. So any other updates or questions you have, you can ask me or email me. But a key thing that we have that we're working on is the USG calendar. So if you click that link, you'll be able to see the upcoming events. I don't know if it's updated right now, but that are happening. So if you want to attend and support your fellow representatives and chairs who have created events, make sure to check out the calendar. And then I had some director meetings last week, but they'll be able to go into more detail this year.
Thank you, and with that, the report of the chief of staff will be filed. Next, we have the report of the diversity and inclusion chair.
Hello, everybody. I hope you've had a nice week. So for the Teas of the World event, the issues have been resolved with UIC catering, and so I'm coordinating a new date and coordinating the teas with Danya and Quinn. The mental health town hall, I'm working with Speaker of the House Joe and Director Alvarez, and we're gonna start confirming the panelists for the town hall starting now. Gia and Brina, they introduced the resolution. Dia's working on her disability resource panel event. Sadie's looking into language barriers for posters on campus. And I worked on a door security resolution with Campus Safety Commissioner Felix Drone. However, after a meeting that he had with Vice Chancellor Coronado, we're looking into more avenues for that resolution currently. And I met with the Gala Ad Hoc Committee, yay. We're gonna be planning a very wonderful gala. And on Wednesday last week, I met with the Gender and Sexuality Center staff and various students groups to brainstorm and look into Chick-fil-A because there's a lot of concerned students looking into and truly caring about it right now.
Thank you. With that, the report of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee Chair will be filed. Next, we have the report of the Legislative Affairs Committee Chair.
All right, so actually, sent in an updated version, because there was a mix-up, it's okay. So I sent it to the email chain. For the sake of time, I'll keep it very short. First point, Turning Point USA and the statement proposal. Of course, we just mentioned it today. So thank you for everyone who collaborated on that. Obviously, the next step is the symposium. So we'll take everyone's recommendations into consideration. Of course, if you have any updates or anything you would like to add, you would like us to add to the resolution, definitely let us know. Next week is spring break, so we have more time to let it marinate. Next up is the SNAP benefits and the EBT workshop. Y'all, like it's hard to pay for groceries. You know, we're all college students. We obviously pay for a lot of fees, utilities, anything else. So it can be a little hard to pay for groceries sometimes. So having this would be a great addition. So last week I briefly spoke with Jacqueline Tenorio, who is the health education coordinator from the Wellness Center. And I proposed her this idea, so we're currently working on that. Representative Natty Lopez will be helping me out with that. Olga Medina, who is a director from the Illinois Hunger Coalition, is going to collaborate with us on this because that's the organization we reach out to help us fill out these applications. Next up is undocumented students in the USG budget. Currently, we're looking into ways how the USG budget can be utilized, not for this semester, but for semesters coming forward. How the USG budget can benefit undocumented students here on campus. So that conversation will be brought up very soon. And for the sake of time, upcoming events, the Mental Health Coalition of Mental Health Town Hall Please keep that in mind. It will be April 17th between 3 and 5 p.m. So if you have any students or any peers who might have something to say about this event, please let us know. We'd love to have them. All right, but I yield my time for any questions.
Thank you. With that, the report of the president will be filed. If you have any questions. Legislative, what did I say? Oh, legislative affairs chair, committee chair will be filed. If you have any questions, feel free to email him or leave it in the Slack. Next, we have the report of the public affairs committee chair.
Water bottles and string bags are in the office. Check your emails to see which one you got. And then new members, emergency ready to go also in the office.
Thank you. And with that, the report of the public affairs committee chair will be filed. Next, we have the report of the student success committee chair.
Hey everyone, can you guys hear me? Okay, so I attended our e-board meeting this past Friday. So I'm planning a professional development event with Lauren. Basically, we did reach out to offices in order to gauge their interest in the event, and they are very much interested. Met with Treasurer Quinn today to discuss the funding of the event, so we will be working on the details of that. Representative Saba and I will be meeting with Dr. Kochi for the Dean's Advisory Board for College of Engineering. Representative Saba Nora working on the IFTAR resolution. Representative Juana is working on the logistics for the public comment town hall, and Deputy Chair Nazara is working on finalizing the logistics for the Money Matters event. And I yield my time for questions.
Thank you. And with that, the report of the student success committee chair will be filed. Next, we have the campus life committee chair's report.
I will read it on his behalf.
Go ahead.
So Felix met with the Campus Advocacy Network last Thursday to discuss the
bystander intervention workshop that'll be next month. And he hopes to encourage student leaders from different organizations to participate and table in advance for the event. USG movie night, he's advocating for an RSVP link has been created on the campus group's website, so please share that if you can and want to. He attended the e-board meeting on Friday, March 10th, and discussed ways that the e-board can do better as a whole and individually, gave updates on what committees are doing. And this week we are meeting as a committee on Friday at 3 p.m. in the USG office. If you have any questions on what Felix is doing, please reach out to him for more information.
Thank you. And with that, the report of the campus life committee chair will be filed. And last but not least, we have the report of the secretary.
Hello, everyone. I had my first ad hoc meeting on Friday, on the 10th. And it was, so our meeting time will be Fridays, 4 to 5 p.m. It'll be via Zoom, and they'll be bi-weekly for now. I wrote down the members in my report. Each of these members are from every committee. So if you ever have any questions, you can refer to these people because you're in a committee with them. We delegated committee tasks, and now we're going forward with developing the theme, the music, and the invite list. And on that note, if you collaborated with any student orgs or you did something with a cultural center or like WLRC, please forward that information to me so that we can add them to the invite list. And even if you didn't collaborate with an entire student org, but they were still involved in the process, please also send that the contact information for them over to me or any of my committee members. In the past couple forms that I had where I wrote questions, concerns at the end, a couple of them were about bringing a +1. I don't have an answer for you right now, just because we're still developing the invite list and we need to be sure on expenses. So if it's already too many people coming, I think it would be a little bit difficult to bring a +1, but just, I don't want to bring up anyone's hopes. I don't want to make any promises. Oh, yes, the venue that this is going to be on is in the water. On the Adidas yacht. Okay, well, the tentative date and time will be on Monday, May 8th. What? Oh, sorry. Monday, May 8th from 6 to 9 p.m. Our planner's name is John Burrell, and I'm trying to get catering details in order right now. It's honestly the hardest part of this, surprisingly. But Monday, May 8th, how many of you are international students / campus housing residents? Okay, so I was informed by Sophia that, moving out has to be, you have to be moved out by May 8th, 12 p.m. Will this be an issue for any of you people?
I just looked it up on the website, that's what it said for housing, and I was like, oh, because I have to go back to Myrtle Beach, so I was like, I don't know if anyone else.
If
has
this
that
is an issue, please let me know so that I can make very, very quick adjustments and modifications, because I don't want to sign a contract. And then, you know, so if there are any concerns, I'll probably send out an email, but no worries. So now we're beginning outreach for external catering, to explore other options with that. Now we are going to outreach shuttle buses, and as well as UIC photography, who may or may not be present. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact me or any of my committee members. I yield my time for questions.
Thank you. With that, the report of the secretary will be filed, and our next order of business is announcements. Are there any announcements?
Just want to emphasize, all new resolutions requiring funding, get them in the packet by the next general body meeting. If we do not, we will not have enough time to get the actual items that we order or spend the money. So please, get all of your funding resolutions in the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other?
Yes, sir.
So just a reminder, so like the USG movie night is gonna be on Thursday this Thursday from 6 to 8 on March 16th. So like I'm going to send you guys a link in the USG group chat tonight. So if you guys can make it, please go enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more announcements? Yes.
It's a question. Did you pick out a movie?
Yes.
What's the movie?
I want to keep it secret. So you guys should go enjoy it. So I'm not gonna say about it.
Okay, thank you. Any other announcements?
Okay, so one more thing, I never watched that movie too, so that's gonna be my first time too.
Hold on. Okay. Next order of business is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
There's a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
I said.